Hi, this is Michael Orrell from MobileBurn.com, and this is Samsung's Galaxy Tab 10.1. It is a very thin Android 3.1 tablet. So here's the Galaxy Tab 10.1 in its box. Let's open it up and see what comes inside. Here's the tab itself, very thin device, 8.6 millimeters thick. And under here we have the wall charger and the US adapter. Appears to slide in like so. The USB cable for charging and connecting to a personal computer. You can see it's a proprietary port here. Looks something like the PDC ports, but it's not compatible with it. Little quick start guide, some basic security information, and then here of course a pair of 3.5 millimeter earbud headphones with a couple of extra covers. Let's pull up this, make sure there's nothing underneath, and that appears to be it. So I've pulled the tab out of the box, powered it up, so we can take a look at the hardware. As I mentioned previously, very, very thin, 8.6 millimeters. We've got the power standby button up here, volume control, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, stereo speaker right here, the previously mentioned proprietary connector down at the bottom, other stereo speaker. It's a 10.1 inch touchscreen display, like so, and that's 1280 by 800 pixels. So you can view native resolution 720p HD video content on here without interpolation. Forward-facing 2 megapixel camera. The rear camera here, it's a 3 megapixel unit with an LED flash. Also has autofocus capabilities, which the forward-facing camera does not. You can see this is the white unit. It's also available in a metallic gray. There is a 7,000 milliamp hour battery inside this unit. There's also 16 gigabytes of storage, no micro SD slot or anything else, but there is a 32 gigabyte version of the device available for an extra $100. In terms of weight, the device weighs 465 grams, which is about 1.25 pounds, 19.9 ounces. Really nice display, shows off the colors very well. This is Android 3.1, not the 3.0 that we originally saw on the Motorola Xoom. Although there doesn't seem to be too much going on in terms of customizations, TouchWiz customizations. You can see even the buttons down here are stock, and the notification area is also stock Android. Now if you want some side-by-side comparisons, I can do that. Right there in the middle is the Galaxy Tab 10.1 with the kind of a rainbow looking color scheme. The right hand edge, the one with the screen that just went off, that is the HTC Flyer, followed by the Motorola Xoom. And on the left hand edge we have the original Apple iPad on the left, and the white version is the iPad 2. You can see that the Samsung device is a little bit longer than any of the others, a little bit bigger than the Motorola Xoom. Has a very nice display though. It seems to rival the iPad 2's display. And just to show you that the tab is physically larger than the Xoom, you can see if I move around here, the Galaxy Tab 10.1 sticks out just a little bit on all four edges. Where the Samsung reclaims points though is when it comes to thickness. You can see there just simply is no comparison in terms of total device thickness between the Xoom and the Galaxy Tab 10.1. The Tab 10.1 is very, very thin. And of course, can't talk about thin tablets without comparing with Apple's iPad 2. The iPad 2 is here on the left hand side. The Galaxy Tab 10.1 on the right, with the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack showing. Look at those straight on, you can see, should be able to tell that the Galaxy Tab 10.1 is still a little bit thinner. Okay, so here's the Android 3.1 lock screen. Just grab the lock icon and drag it off. That unlocks the device. I've got some installed applications and widgets just to show you how things work here. You can see we've got scrolling widgets here. Not only are they scrolling, they are now resizable as of the Android 3.1 update. So you have a little bit of flexibility with how you configure your home screens now. There are, of course, multiple home screens. If you want to add something, you just tap on the plus button here, or you can just long press on the display, tap a widget, and it'll automatically toss it in there to the most recent panel you were on, or you can actually drag it over to a specific panel. You can see here some of the Android Market applications, page flipping. There are the bookmarks, and this is the Google Books widget up here. Whenever you install a new application, it automatically shows up in the main menu, and more particularly shows up in the My Apps section. So these are all applications that I've installed, and I've installed all these apps solely so I can show you what happens when you have more than one page of apps. You notice the little silhouettes there, so that shows you that you can swipe over, and if you had 3 pages you'd see them on both edges if you were in the middle. In any case, all the applications that are installed automatically show up as shortcuts on the home page, which is pretty convenient. There's a notification area down here. That noisy notification that just came in was from TweetComb. I can also tap here on the clock and bring up the full list of them. You can see right now, because I was installing all those applications and updates, there's a huge list. Unfortunately, there's still no function for clearing all, like you see on the smartphones. There's no clear button just to get rid of them all. So if you want to get rid of them, you have to sit here and tap through them all, which can be quite a pain. Quick access to settings. Whenever you have a pop-up like this, you just tap anywhere else on the display to make it go away. Buttons down here are back, home, and the task switcher. You notice that in 3.1 we've got a scrolling task switcher, so you have access to more applications that are currently running. For instance, I can just tap here and switch over to the browser. Flash ads running here. Or I can tap on over to Gmail, hit the back button, or home button in this case, to go back to the home screen. You notice down here I have 2 of the music shortcuts here. Now if I want to get rid of one, all I do is long press on it, and immediately you notice a little tick mark showing a grid where I can move it if I so choose. But if I want to get rid of it, I just drag it up here to the corner of the trash can. And I can do that with any of them. And similarly, if I'm in the My Apps section, I can long press on something here and drag it to remove and uninstall it. You'll also notice now that I have 1 fewer apps, there's only 1 screen now, and you don't see the little silhouette there. I'm going to jump into the email application just so you can see the nice split screen view it offers. So we've got a HTML email support. I'm on a relatively slow data connection here, so you have to forgive the speed that the images come across. Notice when I tapped into a message, the inbox showed up here. If I tap up here, I can go back to the list of all the different folders and show the inbox on the right hand side. Tapping up here will allow me to switch between views of a particular account. You can see I've got a Gmail and AIM both set up, and you can see this is a combined inbox, or I can tap again just to go just to AIM. The widgets work the same way. You can have a combined view and tap to switch the view of the widget. Tap on one of the Gmail messages. Here we go, here's one with the same image from the beach. Some other formatting, just so you can see how it works. No multi-touch zooming. I'm going to jump back into the regular email application and try to find that formatted text. You can see formatted text here. You can also see we've got multi-touch zooming now. Colors much nicer than the Gmail client. Now, of course, the Galaxy Tab 10.1 also works in portrait mode. I tend to use it in landscape mode most of the time, as I use that way. Definitely is better for text input though when you're using in portrait mode. But you do lose some functionality. You notice I don't have the split screen view anymore, and a little bit of a problem right there. There we go. The split screen's back, and see if I can get back into message, and there we go. Now it's working properly. You still have most of the core functionality that you need, you know, the folders on one side and stuff, but it gets a little weird here in portrait mode. Let's pull up one of those messages and hit reply, just so you can see the on-screen keyboard. Works well with thumbs. Some haptic feedback. And let me throw it back into landscape mode so you can see the larger version. I can just send that off. As with most Honeycomb applications, you have a menu with some functionality up top here, and then quick access buttons along the top here. Some older applications though will also show a fourth button down here. Let's see if I can find an example. Actually, the one I wanted is I haven't installed, unfortunately. It's a barcode scanner, and there you go. You can see the menu button down here at the bottom. This is how it maintains backwards compatibility with the old smartphone versions of applications.